Hey guys, how's it going? Master Cal here, and today I'm going to be doing the 8th video of my 2021 NFL offseason preview series for the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers, under Matt Rhule in his first year as their head coach, started off fairly strong, but after that they faded down the stretch. They were not able to win or pull out in a lot of close games, and they were often on the wrong side of those. And so we will see how the Panthers continue to overhaul the roster. So starting at quarterback is Teddy Bridgewater, who has had an interesting path in the league so far. First rounder by the Vikings, had that really serious injury in 2016. The Vikings ended up replacing him with Case Keenum. Left for the Jets as a free agent and was able to prove that he was healthy, which got him traded to the Saints, where he spent 2 years as Drew Brees' backup. Bridgewater led the Saints to a 5-0 record in 2019 while Brees was injured, and that got him a 3-year deal from the Panthers to be their starting quarterback after they elected to release Cam Newton. And Bridgewater had some solid results as the Panthers had a very decent offense under Joe Brady. Unfortunately, it was in the crunch time that Bridgewater was not able to shine, and so the Panthers have been reported as wanting to upgrade from him at the quarterback position. They've been rumored as looking to go after Deshaun Watson. They reportedly were second or third in the Matthew Stafford running. They've called the Jets about Sam Darnold. I do not believe they have been calling the Eagles about Carson Wentz, however. Plus, obviously, with the 8th overall pick, they could use that to maybe trade up and get a quarterback if they so desire. But the point is that the Panthers are indeed looking to upgrade from Bridgewater at quarterback. At running back is Christian McCaffrey, who unfortunately was not a really big factor in their offense last year, mostly because of injuries, which is an ominous sign given that he just signed an extension before the season that made him the highest paid running back in the NFL. And obviously we all know that highly paid running backs have just not fared as well. Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson, Devontae Freeman, Ezekiel Elliott as well had the worst season of his career last year. So the Panthers are going to hope that McCaffrey's injury was an aberration and that he'll be healthy next year. Heading to the offensive line, you got Greg Little at left tackle, a second rounder in 2019 out of Ole Miss. Unfortunately, Little has not established himself in the league thus far. He's missed time the past 2 seasons because of concussions and COVID and whatnot, and he was in and out of the lineup. So I don't think the Panthers view him as a sure starter on that offensive line at this point. At left guard is Dennis Daly, who was a 6th rounder in 2019, and a guy that the Panthers wanted to win a job on the starting line last season, but he didn't play as much. Matt Paradis at center, obviously former Bronco. He's in the final year of a 3-year deal he signed with the Panthers in 2019. He's pretty good, and he's very durable aside from his last year in Denver, and so he's probably an extension candidate. The Panthers currently do not have a right guard under contract because they have 3 different guards that are free agents. We'll get to them in that section of the video. And then Matt Caskey, a former undrafted free agent of the Rams, is at right tackle. So the Panthers, safe to say, have a lot of moving parts on that offensive line, which was okay but not great, and certainly one that they'll want to improve. Wide receiver, you got DJ Moore, first rounder in 2018, who has been very productive in his 3 seasons as a Panther. Robbie Anderson, a former New York Jet, who had his best season as a pro after joining the Panthers last season, had a 1,000-yard season and was very good, especially at the start of the season. Their number 3 receiver for now is Omar Bayless, who I think was with the Rams and the Packers before that. I don't think he played last year because of injuries. He might have been actually just with the Panthers. I don't remember exactly. And then tight end Ian Thomas, 4th rounder in 2018, who played a lot as a rookie because of the injury to Greg Olsen. And then after the Panthers elected to release Olsen last offseason, he became the starting tight end, where he posted okay but not great numbers. Heading to the defensive side, we have Stephen Weatherly, a former 7th rounder by the Minnesota Vikings in 2016. He signed a 2-year deal with the Panthers this past offseason, but he did not play a whole lot because of injuries and was a rotational piece. Defensive tackle is Kawaan Short, second rounder in 2013 by the Panthers, who sets it be in the final year of his contract. Now, literally, like right after I finished my research looking over who the Panthers starters were and over the cap, I saw Adam Schefter's report that the Panthers were cutting Short. And that was an expected cut given the fact that he's only played in 5 games total over the past 2 seasons because of injuries and because of the fact that he's entering a contract year. It was an expected release, but I believe it is official. Yeah, that means that Zach Kerr and Brevion Roy are in line to get more playing time next to Derek Brown, who was the 7th overall pick in last year's draft by Carolina, and he played a pretty strong role as a rookie. Defensive end is Brian Burns, first rounder in 2019 out of Florida State, I believe. Burns didn't play a whole lot as a rookie, but he definitely established himself as the team's best pass rusher in year 2. At linebacker is Shaq Thompson, first rounder in 2015, who got the most playing time of his career because of the retirement by Luke Kuechly. And with Short gone, Thompson is now the only remaining starter from that 2015 Panthers team that reached the Super Bowl. Next up, I listed Jeremy Chinn as a linebacker because that's what Over the Cap has him listed as. I don't remember if he played linebacker or safety. Chinn was the runner-up to Washington's Chase Young for Defensive Player of the Year after he had a very strong rookie season with interceptions and tackles and defensive touchdowns, and he definitely looks to be a budding piece for that defense. And then their other linebacker is Jermaine Carter Jr., who's mostly a special teamer who has seen some time on the defensive side as well. Cornerback Dante Jackson, second rounder in 2018. Jackson had a solid rookie season. He regressed in his sophomore season, but he had a really nice season last year, and he definitely got on the right side of the coaching staff. So he looks to be a piece moving forward. I don't know if the Panthers will sign him to an extension, but he should definitely be a starter. Stanley Thomas Oliver, 7th rounder in 2020, is the number 2 corner. He mostly played special teams, didn't play a whole lot of defense as a rookie. And then Troy Pride Jr., 4th round rookie last year out of Notre Dame, who had a solid rookie season, will be in the slot. At safety is Trey Boston, who will be in his third season in his second stint with Carolina. And he's been pretty productive for them, pretty much playing every single snap. And then Justin Burris, former Jet, former Brown, I think former Raider as well, joined the Panthers last season, and he was pretty solid as their number 2 safety. On special teams, they only had one guy under contract, and that's their punter, Michael Palardy. Palardy did not punt last year, however, because of an injury. That job fell to undrafted rookie Joseph Charlton, who impressed in his stint there. All right, so moving on to the Panthers free agents, you have Russell Okung, who's been in a bunch of different places, the Seahawks, the Broncos, the Chargers. He was traded from Los Angeles to Carolina last season. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to shed the injury troubles that he had in his last season in LA, and the chances of Carolina bringing him back are probably low. Okung is also considered retirement, so we'll see what he decides to do. He's still a good player when he's healthy, though. Guard John Miller, former Buffalo Bill, former Cincinnati Bengal. Miller impressed the Bengals the Panthers, not the Bengals. He was released by the Bengals. He impressed the Panthers coaching staff, and the Panthers have indicated that they do want to re-sign him. Running back Mike Davis, who was the starter for the Panthers for much of the season with McCaffrey injured. Linebacker Tahir Whitehead, center Tyler Larson, wide receiver Curtis Samuel, who didn't really break out in his 4 years with the Panthers, but his name has been getting a lot of buzz as a free agent for teams, especially with Shanahan style offenses who think they can unlock his potential. So it sounds like other teams may value Samuel more than the Panthers do. Guard Michael Schofield, another former Charger. Guard Chris Reed, who saw quite a bit of action as a backup. Wide receiver Pharaoh Cooper, who's kind of their return guy. Tight end Chris Manhertz. Long snapper Jeffrey Jansen. Linebacker Julian Stanford. Starting right tackle Taylor Moton. Recent reports have indicated that the Panthers want to franchise the former second-round pick and keep him around, as he graded as a top 5 right tackle in the league last season per PFF. Linebacker Darius Taylor, cornerback Rhule Douglas, a waiver claim from the Eagles who started for them last year. Wide receiver Keith Kirkwood is a restricted free agent. Offensive tackle Trent Scott is a restricted free agent. Defensive end F.A. Obata is a restricted free agent. Cornerback Corn Elder. Tight end Colin Thompson is an exclusive rights free agent. The Panthers already re-signed him to a 1-year deal. Fullback Alex Armah. Kicker Joey Sly is also an exclusive rights free agent, and like Thompson, the Panthers have already re-signed him. And wide receiver Brandon Zylstra is a exclusive rights free agent. So the Panthers currently have $12.15 million in cap space, and that is before the K1 short release, which freed up about $8.6 million. So the Panthers are currently sitting with just over $20 million in cap space. Potential needs for the Panthers, well, we'll start off with quarterback, because the Panthers have and are considered to be aggressive and wanting to upgrade from Bridgewater at quarterback. And if the Texans do change their minds about wanting to deal away Deshaun Watson, or if that situation continues to worsen, keep the Panthers in mind. The offensive line will be a position of need, because the only guy who should be guaranteed a starting job there is Paradis. So pretty much tackle and guard are going to be positions of need. As it sounds like the Panthers are going to keep Moton, which via the franchise tag will eat up probably 14-15 million of that cap space, and then Miller at right guard, and then they'll probably have to find somebody at left tackle, which could very well be a draft pick potentially. Left guard, I could see them bringing someone at a low cost and competing with Daly. They'll need a third wide receiver to replace Curtis Samuel. They could maybe look for an upgrade at tight end over Ian Thomas. I don't think they'll consider it a priority, but if there's one available, I could see them going for it. I could see them adding some reinforcements to the defensive line and also a number 2 corner. So cap casualties, Teddy Bridgewater, releasing him would only save the Panthers $5 million in cap space with $15 million in dead money. So I don't think they'll just straight up release Bridgewater. If the Panthers try to trade for a quarterback, I could see them sending Bridgewater to that team. Otherwise, the Panthers may elect to just draft a rookie quarterback and then have him sit behind Bridgewater or compete for a spot. Let's see. They've already cut K1 short. Weatherly looks like a cap casualty. His release would save, I think, somewhere between $5 and $7 million in cap space. And I don't believe they'll cut Boston or Burris. They'll probably cut Pilardi, given the fact that Charlton punted well enough as a rookie to where they can definitely roll with the younger and cheaper option there. So, so the Panthers do have some ways of freeing up cap space. They may have to restructure a couple of deals, though, because obviously a lot of that cap space is going to go towards franchising Taylor Moton, unless they're able to agree to a long-term deal before the deadline. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you'll stay tuned for my next video in this off-season preview series.